everyone on Patreon. We are working on the Blazing Star Block of the Month 2017 on discount at Craftsy right now. I don't know how many kits they get. I'm not getting anything for this either, so just thought it'd be a nice little thing to do. We are working on the Broadway Star Block. This is for January. It says right there. Hopefully, I don't know if Pop keeps a small camera going or not all the time, but anyways. So we are going to put that one together. You have to make two. So for the first few little blocks that you got going on here, here's all your color and your fabrics and how much you get. And you do get quite a bit, 5 yards and 6 yards and stuff like that. Even that itself, for the less than $100 I bought, right there, those two fabrics right there, paid for themselves. And then I get all these other ones, which are 2, 1, 1.5, half, half, quarter, quarter. So anyways, yeah, I think it's worth it, well worth it. And you get this awesome pattern that you could reuse again and again. Okay, so, did I do my first? I'm already confused myself. There we go, didn't take much. All right, so for the color taupe, this is right here. I've got all my stack. Of course, I had to take it out and I did press what I needed. So this was the taupe fabric. I had to take 2 strips of 4.5, the width of the fabric, and cut those into 10 4.5-inch squares. Okay, so that's what I did. I got a stack of 5 and a stack of 5. Okay, because you're building the 2 blocks at the same time. So I know what was bugging me. Okay, and then from your navy, your true red, your plum, and your moss, you need to cut a 4 7/8, just one. Okay, so and from your blue rule, your cherry, your purple, and your mojito, you cut 1 square at 5 1/4, and you're going to cut that in diagonal twice, and that's what's going to get you for your pieces for these. Okay, so and then you just have your triangle taupes for the inside that goes next to your color right here, where you're going to build your triangles. So you have your light color and your taupe triangle that go together, and then it's added to. I have to cut this in half. Well, that is in half. This I still need to cut in half. This one and this one still need to be chopped in half. But other than that, we're ready to rock on the 2 blocks. There we go. So hopefully, you know, you're liking what's going on. Okay, so it says, and I'm just going to follow this as layout and construction. So a small taupe triangle and a small boys blue triangle together exactly as shown, pressed towards the boys rule fabric. Okay, so I want to make sure I'm doing this correctly. Okay, and I'm just laying it the way they have it, exactly. Got the long sides going to the outside. You got your 2 little points, your 90-degree angles right here meeting up completely, and you're getting a nice straight line on the bottom. So those 2 you'd flip together, and then just with a 1/4-inch seam allowance, starting right there, going all the way down to the end, and you'll do that for every single one. So that's the layout they say for that one. I don't think it's any different for the others because they all seem to lay the same way with the taupe being on the same side. So that would be the layout. Though just say boys rule though. I don't know, we'll read it and go along at the same time. Who actually purchased the kit and is following along? That would be really fun to know. So let me know. Okay, make sure I have this correct because I was talking. And it's easy to get distracted when one's talking. What one's doing. Okay. There we go. Line that up. Wake up Mr. Nomi here. I guess I give myself a 1/4-inch. And then it says press to the boys rule. So we might as well do the both of them at the same time here. I know I have enough taupe triangles hanging around. Okay, so it was this way and this way. Flat side to me, long sides out. There we go. So that's 2 of the boys rule and taupe. Okay, we'll do them all first, but we'll make sure they're all going in the correct direction before we proceed. Just going to kind of finger press that right there to the dark. Okay, I'll do that in my little stack, but no, it still needs to get pressed. Okay, now so let's move on to the purple. Yeah, same way. We'll line 2 of them up. Make sure we're getting them the same way so I can just feed them one right after the other. Okay, long sides, straight edge, fold over. pin it if you need. They're not very big. I mean, and they're not really small. So, you know, to me, it's easy handleable. This actually is a really big quilt. It's like 99 by 99. So I was trying to think of some design perspective to maybe bulk it out a little bit so it would fit Pop and I's over Pop and I's bed as one unit, though we have separate quilts because I don't share well. But just like for, you know, fancy display sort of thing. Not that it ever really stayed there, so I don't even know why I thought of it. I'll probably just give it away. Okay, so those is the taupe with the purple and the taupe with the boys rule. And now we'll do the taupe with the mojito. Oh, that's you, honey? Okay, no worries. I got this. Taupe with the mojito, and we'll sew those two together. Okay. All right. All right. Sew that down. Oh, I jabbed myself with a pin earlier, and I gave myself a little skin. That's okay. I'll just fold this over. And the taupe is beautiful. It has just enough movement in it. Because these boundless have some texture to it. Actually, I'll hold up one of the big pieces at the end, and you can really take in the little detail. It's really, the fabric is beautiful. And like I said, if you think of what you have to pay per yard, and you happen to love these colors, really just buy a kit. Who says you have to put the kit together? You can make your own pattern up, right? You've got lots. There's lots to work with there. All right, so we're just going to finger press the mojito. Mojito, I feel like, you know, you got to say that a certain way. I don't know why. All right, so there, and we just have the cherry to do, okay? And then we've already cut the navy in half, and then we have the true red, the plum, and the moss. I like the color names. The color names are quite very inventive-y sort of thing. Okay, so we're just going to line this up and stitch on down. And I just chose white thread for this. Nothing too exciting. I was going to go blue, but then I didn't want maybe any dark blue threads to show through on that taupe. So I just thought, you know what, let's just keep with white. I know, white's reliable. Okay, so now we got the cherries done. Okay, and like I said, we're just going to do a little finger press. A little finger press. And then we'll take them over to the machine and press, and then we have to cut these guys in half. Did I bring, is this one going to be big enough? Oh yeah, it is. Okay, just want to make sure. All right, so let's go press these, and of course we're pressing them to the dark. So the boys rule, the purple, the mojito, and the cherry. You're pressing in that direction. There we go. Don't want to leave you out. So we'll press it a little bit. And it does tell you in the pattern specifically, when we build the block, how to press your seams. So, you know, if you want to listen to it, then listen to it. If not, be your own rebel. Okay. This green is really neat. I like the green and the purple together. Okay, there we go. Boys. I like the names, they're really cool. Boys rule. Do they? Do they really? All right, so we know that the two blue ones go with the navy, and then we need to cut those guys before we match them up. So this is just from corner to corner. When it says cut on the diagonal, this is exactly what it means. If you are nervous about getting it on the angle, you have a 45 on your ruler. You can always line that up and making sure that you got a nice straight edge, and then you are coming from that corner down to this corner, giving yourself a blade's width to reach those two tips, okay? All right. So we'll put the purples with those guys. Okay. I'll cut Mr. Moss. Like that color too. Okay, put those there. And then for true red, apparently that's what true red looks like. Okay, there we go. Those are those two. All right, so now we have our little buddies together. Now we need to sew them as a full unit, as a square to be able to put in this like 9 patch, okay? So we line this up. And if our measurements are correct, which they seem to be pretty bang on, then it should meet together perfectly without any fuss, okay? So we're just gonna do that to all these blocks, okay? I pedal a little closer. It can only go one way, so you can't mess it up. Well, one would think not, but leave it to me. I'd find a way. Okay. Doesn't matter in which order you sew them in, they all have to be done and then pressed, and then we build out our 9 patch and then we sew that together. Because the taupe square that we cut, all 10 of those, is the opposite. That sits in the 9 patch against these multicolored ones. I do like that with the red and the other red and the purple and the other purple. I do like that. That's really kind of funky the way that this block is. And I've seen it in quilts before. And I thought that would make a nice pretty quilt all together. Like just build those out. Good scrappy one actually. You can use your darks and your lights, reds, and your dark and your light greens and stuff like that. That would be all right. Okay, let's leave that little trail off to the side. Do the purple and green. And as long as you got both edges covered and you're kind of everybody's meeting in the middle, you know, you're good on that side. You're good down over here. And, you know, it's all nice and consistent. Nobody's like, you know, you're not like this much off on that end and you're like, oh, maybe I didn't cut that right, you know, and it's still matching up on this side or something, right? Well, of course, I'm losing something. But, you know, that's what I mean. You know, just check your measurements, triple check, then cut. Don't want no 8 7/8. If you don't know what that is, go back to the North and South quilt. We did on live streams. That's where you see Laurelyn cry. Big alligator tears. Because she cut it wrong. Oops. But thank goodness for Angie. Just one more book to read. She came to save the day. All right, now just moss to mojito. Moss to mojito. I feel like I should get like a drink and some lime and yeah, a little crushed ice, maybe some sand, and trade in some of the snow for some sand. All right, last one, and then we press. Sorry, I do have some tea beside me. All righty. That's an okay size tea mug, right? It's nothing too exorbitant. Oh. Let's use the cutter. There we go. Without trimming everything off, shall we? Just cut the tips off too at the same time. Sophie's being weird. She's biting her leg. All right, now these ones. Actually, let me just double check. What does it say? Repeat steps 1 and 2 to make two tri-square units, each of true red, cherry plum, and purple, blah, 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 which we just did. Sew a block together using 5 taupe, 4.5 squares, each one of the boys, blah, 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 blahs, squares in 3 rows. Press top and bottom rows. Okay, so doesn't anything about that, but common sense would make we think you'd press towards the darker of the two. So we'll go towards the moss and towards the purple. So then we need to make sure that these are going to square up at 4.5 before we add them to our taupe squares, because those we know are 4.5, and if we want things to look right, we need to square things up. If it's supposed to be 99 by 99, let's make sure it's at least relatively close to that, unless we do any other design changes. Okay, so let's move that off to the side, and this is where you take your handy dandy little rulers and you find little placement on your mat. Or just going to say, sometimes you have little squaring units. I have a really big, only 12.5 by 12.5, so not complaining, just saying. So I have a nice 45 here that I can line up on my seam line. I just have to move it down a little bit. So it's not like an impossible task. I just have to be cognizant of, you know, making sure I'm taking off the right little tips. Okay, so if that is there. Where'd you go? Actually, I may have to just use the bigger one. There we go. Okay, sorry. It says 4.5 by 4.5, and I really don't want to mess that up, because if you look at that, well, it's a little bit off, but even that little bit over time will dramatically change your quilt. Okay. All right, so there's 4.5 on that flat edge. There we go. Move that there. Line that up to 4.5. That's good. 4.5. Okay, we're good. All right, so there's good for that one. I only need a little trimming off of that one. Do this one the same. 4.5. Okay, there's that one. And that press all that. Seems like he's a little shy in that corner here. Let's just press that again. And help encourage that just a little bit. There we go, that's better. Just needed a little bit of encouragement. Oh, that's good there. 4.5. Just that little tip off. 2. I think this will be a very fun project to put together. I really do. And that's one of the reasons why I picked it up. I thought it was a good little investment of fabric and project and time and things to share with you guys. And the learning process along the way, and not everything usually turns out the way you're hoping, but you do give it your best effort, right? And that's all anybody could ever ask for, and that's like all you could really ask for from yourself. Okay. Right. Do, 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 do. It's beautifully sunny out this morning. It just was like, wow, I loved it, soaking up the vitamin D. A little crispy on the face though, but it was nice. Okay, a couple more. We're getting there. I know, this is always the tedious part. I always say that. Squaring up stuff is bleh. There we go. 2 more. And then we can put these little 9 patches together. Okay. So I think the next couple months we're doing 2 blocks. So, and if you guys are participating, or you're going to participate in your own format with your own colors, because I've given you all the cuts you need, really. You could do this in any way you like. You do it with black and white and rainbow colors. So I would love to see it. I would love to see it. Okay. One more, and then we're ready. Just one little tip. Right there. 4.5, 4.5. Alrighty, now a little cleanup here. The collection. Okay, now here is how it gets laid out. Of course, you need one of everybody for each block. Okay, so you know I already had my 5-pack and my 5-pack. Now everybody gets into the pool. Okay, so now it's blue on top, green on the bottom, red to the left, and purple to the right. Feels like we're doing a hokey pokey. All right, so it has it so the main triangle is into the dark back corner there, and they all lay out in a similar fashion. Okay. Right here. Do you need me to move them down, sweetie? There. Okay, so we got, okay, purple was over here, green's on the bottom, red's to the right. Okay, so there, and there, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. But they did theirs differently. Because they have, okay, what they're showing you here is not what they've done here. So follow this, follow that, do whatever you like. I'm going to follow, I think maybe what it does on here. They got them mixed up different ways. I guess it really doesn't matter, does it? Because one's one way and one's another. That's on the front, so I just like them to be consistent. So I'm going to do it to this little pattern that they've actually stamped out here. So that's what I'm choosing, okay? So that goes there, just making sure, and then we put our 5. See, that's where you get some discrepancies between what actually the quilter who made it and the instructions, you know? Those rebel quilters out there. What are they doing changing the rules? I don't know, I like this setup better. I liked it. I'm not saying the other one's wrong. It's just these two are switched for some reason. It's got them this way. And I kind of like it with the complementing that shades, you know what I mean? You'll get it. Or you won't. Okay, so now we're just going to go row by row, okay? And then you put the 2 of them together. And then press, and they should be about 10 and a half. Oh, sorry, that's 12 and a half, I apologize. And then trimmed up to 12, okay? So we know all these are going to go the same direction. We're just going to flip and sew and flip and sew. We'll do this there. Okay, and then we know the rows went this way, right? So we can go this. And we don't have to take them apart. It doesn't matter. The fact that actually we're keeping them linked, it helps not get them confused or lost, okay? And we know this goes on the other side of this one. And then it's the taupe on, that's the other side of the blue. Okay, and then taupe on the blue, and then we'll just sew those rows together. Okay, now sew a block together using 5 press top and bottom rows to the taupe square and press the center section towards the center square. Okay, so let's press the top to the taupes. That's what it said. Press the bottom to the taupe, or the middle, sorry, not the bottom, I apologize. Well, it's the same for all of them, but. All right, and then lay that out. Okay, now, since we have it all here together, it's not lost at all, we just pin the bottom and the second together, the second row and the third row. And because you want those intersections to really meet up, you want to put a pin in there, okay? Flip the taupe, fit the colors, whatever it is that you got to do to make it fit, but try to make it line up. That really helps define the block and keeps your eye on focus to the overall pattern. Okay. Now, and take out just as you get there. Come on, there we go. And every block you make should allow something for trimming because, you know, it depends on your fabric. Fabric may be really stretchy or, you know, or it's just, you know, it's always to allow for a little bit of trim and squaring up. Okay, and same here. Take your 2 pins, flip and flop the seams, make sure the red's over to the red, the taupes to the taupe, that sort of thing, or where, however it said it asked you to do it. I think it was the other way, to make sure those seams line up. Okay, I think that's why they have you pressing it the way they do. Okay, there we go. And the taupe is pretty dark. It's not like it's a white, and I doubt much color would show through from the darkness of the red or the blue or the purple. Alrighty, there's our block, and we're just going to give it a press, okay? That is nice. That is very colorful. And of course, we'll square it up. Maybe one of my squares was cut wrong because it looks like a little wonky off the top here. Oh well. Okay. There we go. And that's it. And we'll make another one. Just like that. Okay. So I want to keep them the same. So we had the blue was there, the purple was here, the green was there, and the red was there, I think. Other way, Darlene, there. So, okay, thank you. Alrighty, there we go. Bibbidi bobbidi boo, we got this. Okay, let's just make sure lay this right there. Yep. Okay. Now, it doesn't matter which way you put this together. I mean, it's completely up to you. I do whatever I feel like I want to do, you know. If I want to just do each row, then I know I have each row done and lay it on top of the other or lay it where it needs to be. And I know I'm only fiddling with one row. Or if you know you got lots to do, it's easy to keep them up in a chain like that, keep them all attached. Okay. Do whatever's comfortable for you. Right? If you have a hard time cutting, maybe get a buddy from a guild or find somebody close by who, you know, is pretty steady and likes to cut and, you know, doesn't mind doing you a favor for a cup of tea and a couple of cookies or something like that. You know, barter system. Barter system is fantastic. And we have lots of cutters here at the quilt shop. Fortunately, if you're not close enough to drop it off, I don't know how much postage is going to cost you, but we would happily cut it here for you. We've got lots of hexagons and all sorts of even strip ones too, 2.5-inch strips. But I'm pretty sturdy with my 2.5, my big ruler so far, but I am glad I have it because in the future I may not be so sturdy, you know what I mean? So, or if I have to cut for projects or quilt kits or something like that, I certainly don't want to be doing each one when I know I can get 45 strips out of one press with the AccuQuilt cutter, so. You know what I mean? All right, so there we go. 1, 2, 3, and then we'll press, because we should. Oh. Sitting on the microphone again. Somebody's going to design me something that's going to hang around my chin or something. All right, there we go. And we really hope you enjoyed this bonus video, and we will have another one next month on the next block of this. Okay. And it's actually the outside. It's that little swirly bit, so we'll be doing that. Okay, that outside. Where's the main? This one right here. This, we'll have to do all that next month, so get prepared. But this was pretty easy. I like it, and I really like how the block turned out. So, all right, so just a couple more seams here, and then we're done. I was very happy that you guys partaked in Patreon to help us build as a quilt shop, as a business, and a form of entertainment. Teaching utility. All right. Okay, beautiful. And beautiful. All right, pop a pin. All right, line that. This is way better square lining up than the first one there. Makes me wonder what I did wrong. Things make go And if you're not happy with your seams, you can take it apart, you know? Sing the seam ripper song. It's not so bad. Okay, press, and we've got 2 squares ready to rock for this Blazing Star quilt. And it's gonna look amazing. I really like this taupe. I wasn't too sure at first when I saw the pattern, per se, when we were looking at it. Where's the big one? I don't know where the big one is. In here somewhere. There it is. Okay, there. Because I thought maybe it was a little bit lighter, but when I took it out of the package, I was like, maybe not. But I do like it. So that's what we're working on. We just did this one here and this one down here, and we're making progress. So thanks everybody, and we will see you next month. But of course, we'll see you on all our other videos on YouTube and Facebook and stuff like that. So thank you very much. Have a fantastic day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.